The man in 3B. Sarah had always dreamed of having her own place, a quiet sanctuary where she could escape the chaos of life. When she found the charming little apartment on Oakwood Street, she knew it was perfect. The rent was cheap, the neighborhood was peaceful, and the landlord seemed eager to have her move in. But there was something off, something she couldn't quite put her finger on. It wasn't until the first night that she realized she wasn't alone. Sarah pushed open the door to her new apartment, inhaling the scent of fresh paint and floor polish. The place was small but cozy, with just enough space for her bookshelves and a comfortable couch. She spent the first few hours unpacking, arranging furniture, and admiring the view from her window. Across the hall, apartment 3B sat in eerie silence. The landlord had mentioned that the man in 3B had lived there for years. He was private, she had said, almost too quickly, as if warning Sarah not to pry. That night, as she lay in bed, Sarah heard it. A soft scraping sound, like something being dragged across the floor, came from 3B. She sat up, listening. The noise stopped, replaced by a heavy silence. Then, at exactly 3:07 a.m., there was a knock at her door. 3 soft raps, precise and deliberate. Her heart hammered. Who would be knocking at this hour? She hesitated, then crept to the peephole. No one was there. Swallowing her unease, she locked the door and climbed back into bed, forcing herself to sleep. The next morning, Sarah ran into an elderly woman in the hallway. "You must be the new girl in 3A, the woman said. "I'm Mrs. Carver. Welcome." "Thank you," Sarah said. "Do you know the man in 3B? Mrs. Carver's expression darkened. "He's been here longer than anyone. Keeps to himself. If I were you, I'd do the same." A chill ran down Sarah's spine. That night, she kept her lights on and stayed up reading. 3:07 a.m. The knocking came again. 3 soft raps. This time she didn't check. Days passed and Sarah noticed strange things. The lights in the hallway flickered only near 3B's door. A rancid smell sometimes wafted from under the doorframe. Once, she swore she saw a shadow move behind his curtains, even though she'd never seen him leave the apartment. Curiosity gnawed at her. One evening, she saw the door to 3B slightly ajar. A single, bare light bulb flickered inside. Unable to resist, she nudged the door open a fraction more. The apartment was nearly empty. No furniture, no decorations, just a single chair in the middle of the living room, facing the door, as if waiting for someone. A sound behind her made her whirl around. The door to 3B slammed shut. Sarah bolted to her own apartment, locking herself inside, her heart racing. That night, she heard it again, the scraping sound. But this time it was followed by something worse. A whisper, faint but clear. "I see you." Sarah couldn't ignore it anymore. She started researching the apartment's history and found an old article buried deep in the archives. Missing women in Oakwood apartments. No leads. There was a list of names. 5 women, all tenants of apartment 3A, all gone without a trace. Terror gripped her. She had to leave. She started packing, her hands shaking. But before she could finish, there was a knock at her door. 3 soft raps. Sarah froze. The peephole showed nothing. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Why are you leaving so soon?" Her breath hitched. Someone was watching her. Determined to escape, she grabbed her keys and yanked the door open. The hallway was empty. She sprinted down the stairs, but as she reached the front door, a voice behind her made her stop cold. "Going somewhere?" She turned slowly. A man stood in the shadows near 3B. He was tall, gaunt, his face eerily expressionless. His eyes, however, held something far worse, something hungry. "Move," she whispered. He took a step toward her. "You shouldn't have looked inside." Sarah bolted. She ran out of the building, not stopping until she reached a police station. Gasping, she told them everything. At first, they seemed skeptical until they ran a check on apartment 3B. The man had no record, no lease. According to their system, apartment 3B had been vacant for 10 years. Sarah's blood ran cold. But I saw him. The officers agreed to investigate. When they broke down the door to 3B, what they found made them recoil. The walls were covered in photos of the missing women, hair, jewelry, souvenirs of their lives. And in the center of the room, the chair. A tape recorder sat on it, playing a looped whisper. I see you, I see you, I see you. But the man was gone. Sarah never went back. She moved to a different city, changed her number, and tried to forget. But some nights, at exactly 3:07 a.m., her phone buzzes with a message from an unknown number. You can't hide forever. If you enjoyed this terrifying story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more chilling tales. What would you do if you discovered your neighbor was a serial killer? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, keep your doors locked.